Not Growing Up welcomes you to the most Not Growing Up podcast. You ready? Let's go.
And welcome back. This is episode 7 of the Not Growing Up podcast. I'm here with Sean Daly and James Morton.
Hello, everybody.
Hello again.
And boys, what's special about this podcast?
Well, this week we're actually going to be doing an Avengers Endgame special podcast. A few podcasts ago, we did the Game of Thrones special.
I think it was your last one.
Yeah,
the last one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So this week we're going to do an Endgame special in preparation for the Endgame film that's going to be coming out next week.
Yeah, April
believe so.
24th.
April 24th. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So,
to make a start, are we all excited for the film?
buzzing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Ooh.
10 years or something like that. 11 years in the making, is it?
Yeah.
22
right.
films, I believe.
It was like the 10-year celebration or something.
Yes. So 11 years, 22 films or something like that, all culminating down to this one big film that's eventually going to end this current phase of the universe and start a new one. So on the very first podcast of this show,
Yes.
and the Not Growing Up podcast, me and Scott did the Who Knows Best on what is the best standalone Marvel MCU film, so taking out the Avengers and Civil War and things like that. I said Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
You said Ant-Man, but James wasn't here, so James, do you want to let us know yours?
I'd probably have to go with Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Oh.
That is a very popular choice among people. Do you want to give us a few
Pointers
words as to why?
I mean, reason number one, I'm in love with Captain America.
I'll be all.
He's an absolutely beautiful human being, really.
Yes.
It's got some of the best, fight scenes.
Combat scenes,
The fights between him and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Some of those combat scenes are ridiculously
And
good.
Crossbones as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them are absolutely amazing. The story, because I vaguely remember you mentioning it and saying it was kind of like a Cold War thriller.
Yeah.
And a superhero. And that pretty much nails it. It's got a lot of twists and turns and things you don't see coming and things you do see coming.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's just a major step up from the films that came before, like Iron Man and Captain America, the first ones of these. So I think this was the first time we sort of saw a grown-up storyline.
Yeah.
Which is seems like the type of route that they're starting to take.
It's pulled away from the child-friendly sort of...
Yeah, it pulled it in a more mature direction while still keeping it accessible.
It's still keeping it a Captain America film, essentially, is to sell toys or whatnot. But yeah, that was one of my picks for what would have been my favourite film.
Yeah. Your mentions, I remember.
Yeah, so leading us on to this, we got Endgame, which, like I said before, it's going to be probably the end of the current MCU as we know it.
It's kind of sad, really, that it's here already.
When you think about it, it is quite sad because obviously we're going to lose some people, we're going to gain a few, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I said, as we know it, there's probably not going to be another Avengers film with the original cast that we've seen for the past 11 years, like I said. Which brings us on to thinking about what direction they're actually going to take after this film. So, are they going to reassemble the Avengers and make it a different force to be reckoned with, sort of? So, different characters. What characters do you guys think that will be as part of the Avengers, if they do make another Avengers titled film after this one?
Well, I think you're going to have Captain Marvel being at the forefront of everything now, because the film that they pushed has, they made such a huge thing about it. I think that they're going to make her the main star of the new phase, I think.
I think they've also confirmed that as well.
Yeah.
I think they've said after this current phase.
What's his name, the director? Director of Marvel.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, I think he said...
I think he stated that that's their plan.
Yeah.
But in terms of... So we've got her at the forefront now, which we presume will happen if they do another sort of Avengers-y film. Who else is going to be in that troupe? Because obviously, I think it's, without saying, the events of Infinity War... Some of those characters are going to come back, if not all the characters that, got wiped away by the snap.
Well, we've had Spider-Man's only been in 2. Well,
2 before Infinity War. He was in Civil War and he was in his Homecoming standalone film.
Yeah. So I think will return, and plus it's Tom Holland, who's quite a young actor as well.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Black Panther.
Yeah, I agree actually, because he's only had about the same amount of films as Spider-Man, not including Infinity War. Obviously,
no.
He had Civil War and he had Black Panther.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think he's had the same amount as well.
And he played quite a big part in Infinity War, obviously.
Definitely.
So I do think.
But with that being said, obviously that we're speculating that obviously some of the people that were killed with the fateful snap are going to come back.
Yeah.
So which characters do we think are actually not going to be coming back at all?
Captain America.
I think that's the biggie for everybody, isn't it? I think that's the main worry. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Which is going to be not just for Cap, because obviously the character of Captain America in the comics carries on with Bucky Barnes taking up the mantle. But just Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, I don't think they could have found anyone more perfect for that role. And
he absolutely
because he announced himself, didn't he, that it's going to be his last film.
I think so.
Was it last year?
Yeah. Well, obviously
he couldn't say too much.
They could change,
They could do, but
could just be speculating. But it does seem like after all these years, it's his last, outing as Captain America. Same as feels a bit like it might be Robert Downey Jr.'s last
Iron Man,
which is
again sad.
I don't think personally that Iron Man will die. I just feel he'll take a step back.
Yeah,
from
the universe.
Yeah, so
do you think he'll retreat with Pepper or something?
Yeah, I think he might just retire.
Like what they did with Pepper, they mentioned her, but they just didn't have Gwyneth Paltrow in it.
Yeah, so I think he won't die. I think, like you said, Captain America will be the big one to go. Then obviously with the original cast of Avengers, we've got Captain America, who we've already mentioned, who we all think is basically not safe in this film. Tony Stark is Iron Man, which is also one of the biggies where are they going to survive, are they not? Personally, I don't think he will. But then we've also got Hulk, Thor, Black Widow and Hawkeye, the original 6 members of the 2012 film.
I think Thor is questionable.
He might be at risk.
He might be at risk.
I think he's a god at the end of the day. I don't know if he can die in that sense.
He can only be killed by another god.
But I think it might be a similar one to Iron Man where they just take a step back or they carry on, because there hasn't actually been much talk around Chris Hemsworth leaving the role.
No, not
per se. Which I think I'd be most sad about Thor dying.
Really? More than Cap?
Because I'm not expecting it. I think I'm expecting Captain America to die, but with Thor I'm not so much. But then we got Black Widow and Hawkeye, who I think they're just safe regardless.
Yeah. Do you think that's more safe because of Disney streaming, which is?
Yeah. So James, do you want to mention that quickly?
Yeah. In I think it was the last week or so, they sort of officially unveiled Disney Plus, which is like Disney's version of Netflix, their streaming service. So they're going to be putting Marvel shows, Star Wars shows, and as well as all the sort of new kid shows and various stuff like that. They're going to be sort of airing, and Simpsons,
because they acquired
Fox. Simpsons will be airing on Disney Plus as well.
That's
good. But yeah, you've got the 4 Marvel shows that they've confirmed for Disney Plus so far are the Scarlet Witch and the Vision, which they're called WandaVision.
Yeah.
A bit of a strange name.
Yeah.
But, okay, they're the professionals. I'll leave it in their hands. The Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Yes.
Which I'm really looking forward to.
That should be
I think that'll make a really good TV show. Then... I'm forgetting.
Not too sure on the others.
Hawkeye was announced, but there hasn't been sort of an official date given for it.
Yeah.
But then Loki was the other one.
And Tom Hiddleston's up for that as well, isn't he?
All of the main characters that were in the films, they're all going to be reprising their characters.
Which is good, which I think sort of shed some light onto what will happen after this current film, which is that some of the more characters that have been with us for years might be going over to that sort of platform, like Becky Barnes and Falcon, and then we might just be seeing a new age of Avengers, like we said, with Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, all of them. But obviously we still need some more characters. Do you think they're going to bring in some more characters from the comic books that haven't appeared on the big screen before?
I think they're going to try and incorporate the X-Men universe into it.
Do you think? And Fantastic Four as well, because they've got that to play around with now, obviously.
Yeah.
After the Fox acquisition,
maybe not as in the Avengers, but maybe in the next phase in the MCU.
I think I read that currently there is no plans for Marvel to make any films on Fantastic Four or X-Men. Because obviously we've got Dark Phoenix, which is made under Fox, and New Mutants, which is made under Fox as well. So I've read that Marvel don't have any intentions at the minute to create films and content for those sets of characters.
I think that's more to do with they haven't really finalised the next phase yet. I think once they've got that sorted, right, this is what's happening, because they planned years ago. They said this is the next phase of films, and they released all the titles of the films and when they're going to come out. And I think once they've done that, then they can start going, right, let's plan X-Men and Fantastic Four and things like that. So because it wouldn't make sense to just make a film now just because they've acquired the rights to it and go, let's just bang out an X-Men film, because it
take time with it.
Exactly. So
I think Endgame will help them in that respect.
Oh yeah,
because of the sort of evidence that seems to be piling up that there is some kind of time travel involved in Endgame,
which we'll talk about later on with what we think is going to happen.
It's going to be changing aspects of the universe, because obviously up until now, because X-Men was with an entirely different studio, they couldn't mention them. But trying to introduce X-Men, just trying to sort of jam them in, it wouldn't really work.
Because you're always going to get people going, where were they when this happened?
Exactly.
And that happened?
So I think this might be an interesting way of actually sort of being able to include them. Like they've changed the universe. And
with we didn't talk about this before for a game up, but I just thought about it now. With Hugh Jackman, obviously his last film was Logan, which is one of the best Marvel films I think I've ever seen. Do you feel that are you gutted that he's never got a chance to be in the MCU, because obviously Disney acquired that, or do you think he was fine as it was?
I think in respect to the character, everybody loves Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Wolverine.
So whether he was in the MCU or not, it doesn't really affect his stance with the character, He's done a good job with that character. He has said that if now that they've acquired the rights, I'm sure I've read somewhere that he would be open to talks in terms of returning as Wolverine, but whether that's the right decision, because Logan did seem very that's it for me. And personally I don't think they should recast the character, or they should do something else with the character. They shouldn't just
especially as it spoiler, died in Logan.
I mean, at this point, if you haven't seen the movie, I feel but
it's been out for 2 years now, something like that.
I mean, I heard talks that they were considering to make sort of the new Wolverine the girl, because she was in Logan.
Yes.
But obviously, with Logan being so far in the future, again, it's a question of how that would sort of work. But obviously, with stuff like that, they can change a lot of it.
For me, I was just thinking about it then as we were talking. I was just thinking how awesome it would have been to have him in the universe interacting with all the other characters, but Hugh Jackman is it? Because I when he was announced years and years ago that he would be playing Wolverine, I was like, okay, and then he played it so well that I couldn't see anyone else doing it.
And that's the problem that we've got with a lot of these characters in the MCU now, in terms of their fate being undecided, and we don't know what's going to happen to them in Endgame. I mean, Captain America, if he dies, we've got
Sebastian Stan
as Becky Barnes to replace him, but then at the end of the day, we still know Becky Barnes as Becky Barnes. And so I don't know if they can do that transition to him being Captain America, especially when they've already got the TV show with Falcon confirmed. I don't know when that's set or anything like that. But presumably it would be after Endgame, because they didn't spend any time with each other before Endgame, because Becky Barnes was in Wakanda for so long, they didn't interact, so it's got to be post Endgame.
Otherwise it wouldn't make sense.
I think that's that, and I think that could be sort of the only one that takes place after
Yes,
Endgame, because the rest of them could all just be prequel stories.
Yes, because I think Vision's definitely dead. I don't think he's coming back.
He's got to.
I think
he's got
Loki's definitely dead, without a doubt. So those two shows have got to take place before. I think the WandaVision one will be when they were, I don't know, the kebab shop in Scotland in Infinity War. Do you know when they went off with each other? It might be that sort of thing. Loki, it might be, I don't know at what period that would be with him. It might be like an origin story, which we saw slightly in the Thor movies, where he was with the what's the race called that Loki actually is?
The Frost Giants.
Frost Giants.
Is it? Yeah,
I can't remember the
I think that was an actual.
It might be his, but that's all speculation anyway. But I think the point is that things still aren't decided. We don't know what's going to happen.
No, so it could go in any direction.
But
which
that's
is brilliant.
Which brings on to the next point, which I was going to ask you. When do you think the final phase is going to be? Because they can't keep going and keep going. They probably will, but I think people will get. They've got to be, there's got to be a final.
I think what they're doing now is good. If they carry on the algorithm, sort of, if you call it that, of what they've been doing now, where they do, was it 3 or 4 phases, and then they wrap up that thing. Yeah. Then they move on 3 or 4 phases, wrap that up. I think that's a good way of keeping it fresh.
I think they could keep it going for years.
They will.
They will.
And the thing with Disney is
they're pulling in.
As long as they're selling toys.
Exactly.
With Disney, as long as they're selling toys.
And I mean, at this point as well, the films haven't dipped in quality. I mean, some are better than others,
exactly,
but
I think
they're all
improved.
Good. They're all
improved.
Enjoyable. Until there is a film that everyone kind of goes, "Oh, that's not quite as good as the old ones."
They'll have to take a step back.
Then that might be a sort of moment where they have to sort of take a break.
I think they can only do that is if they. But even I was going to say they're going to do that if they try something completely new and it doesn't work. But then at least if they do that, then they will okay, we know what the limit is now. We can.
They have tried new before, haven't they? Which brings me back to Endgame conversation as well with Guardians. They've tried different things and they've worked. Obviously, in the future they might do things wrong and they don't work, but that's what happens with films sometimes, But with talk about Guardians, obviously in Infinity War, Zoe Saldana's character, Gamora, died.
Yeah.
Do you think she's going to come back or not?
I think so.
Do you think she will?
I think she will.
I think she will. But I think the problem that this brings is that all the deaths before the snap seemed very real in terms of when the snap happened and everybody died. It was shocking, of course, but then you thought,
no, they've got
Spider-Man turned to dust, but he's already had a sequel confirmed.
Yeah.
So we always had that inkling that some of these characters at least will come back. But before that, Loki got choked out by Thanos. That seemed very ending, and it was a good death for him, reconciling with his brother almost.
Yeah.
Vision died trying to save the universe. Gamora died at the hands of Thanos before the stone.
I thought that scene with Thanos and Gamora was one of the best scenes in the film because it showed not only that the relationship they had was tricky, but it showed that Thanos there's a thought process there. He's not just doing it to take over. He's had some turmoil in his life.
Very good scene. And the guy who plays Red Skull in it is from The Walking Dead. The guy who does the impressions videos online.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot his name now. But he's in Walking Dead. That's the guy who plays him anyway. In the film. Forgot his name now.
Yeah,
Anyway, talk about that. So they all seem very real before the snap. And I do want Gamora to come back because I can't see Guardians really being successful without her, to be honest. It's that relationship between Star-Lord and her that makes it quite interesting. But we got the problem now of films never true to what they are, so people can die and then you just go, we can bring them back. Do you know? And
yeah, I think it might be a case of if Endgame goes in the direction of time travel and events changing and stuff like that, I think anyone that died could be brought back again. But then at the same time, I think it could also go in the direction of new people could die.
Yeah,
because obviously when things change, people would survive. But that just might mean that somewhere down the line, like Winter Soldier might get hit by something that he wouldn't have been hit by in the original, or something like that. All it takes is one change for some characters, and the same characters that have died might still die, just in a different way.
They could die in a different time.
So it might make it seem like it's going to bring them all back, and it's all going to be
happy days,
and then it all kind of gets pulled away again.
You've changed time, essentially.
So other people end up going, or stuff like that. So I mean, just the possibilities, like
there's so
rack your brain.
Yeah, really does. So, in terms of the MCU now, who's both your favourite characters, would you say?
I think, can I have one or two? Or?
Yeah, of course.
I think Cap's always been my favourite.
Yeah.
Always. And I really, really like Black Panther.
Yeah.
I think he's awesome. I mean, because he was he was a big part in the comics, but not so much as Captain America or Thor or
America.
But he wasn't as big as Thor or Cap or anything like that. But now he's massive.
He's sort of exploded. Like everyone loves him.
Yeah,
he's just a cool guy.
It's a brilliant character, really.
Yeah,
I think. Talk about Black Panther as well. I think Wakanda will have some big placeholder in the Endgame because of the technologies and things like that.
Yeah,
I think, and then the whole place in general will be sort of a focal point for the future Avengers. Maybe a new Avengers headquarters will be
in Wakanda,
or something like that. Yeah.
We shall put Wakanda on the map.
Yeah, on the map.
On the map. Yours?
Mine.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I do like Spider-Man's just my childhood favourite.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's got a sequel. So, and in terms of the MCU, I haven't seen enough of this current Spider-Man. Like I was talking to Josh the other day, who listens to the podcast as well. Hi, Josh. About Spider-Man, and I said I do love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I do love the new films, but for me, Spider-Man is him swinging around New York and skyscrapers.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that yet from this Spider-Man. That's always my vision of Spider-Man. Whenever I see him swinging around,
that is what Spider-Man is.
Yeah, swinging around Manhattan.
Yeah,
and I haven't seen that yet. So, but in terms of this stretch of 11 films that we've had, probably Thor, I would say, just an overpowered god who is vulnerable in his own right. Yeah. And I just love that about his character. So Thor probably is my favourite from the MCU currently.
Okay.
Yours?
James?
I mean, Captain America is the sort of OG, but I'd probably go with like Hawkeye.
Really?
Something like that.
Just
like one of the underrated, one of the underdogs. Like he's not a god. He's not a super soldier or anything like that. He's got bow and arrow, and he still manages to hold his own in most situations. Like, I don't know how well he'd do straight up against Thanos, but, against Ultron and stuff like that, he still managed to hold his own.
And then obviously with the rumour, nothing's confirmed, of course, because they're not going to confirm anything for Endgame, but he might be coming into the character of Ronin.
Yeah.
In the new...
From the trailers, he looks a lot more
dark,
rough around the edges.
Yeah.
The hair... For me,
I think that his family are gone, because I think there is a part in the trailer with him and his daughter training. But I think that
his wife's gone.
Some of his family have gone in the snap, and that's what made him darker.
So I'm trying to avoid it. What do you think will happen in this new film? Let's start with you, Scott. And then we can chip in points and develop them to sort of confirm our theory, and then we can watch it and see if we're right.
I think we're all going to agree, because I think we all three of us spoke about this. I think when Cap says, you have got your jobs, you know what to do, I think they're going to open up different time windows or different parts of time, and like 2 or 3 or 1 person could go into a specific time period and change it somehow.
I'll just about, because we were talking about this the other day. That's why in the not the latest trailer, but the trailer before it, Cap says you all know your jobs, you all know what you need to do.
Yeah,
which hints to us that they're going to split off and have their own separate teams, which is what we said. We think they're going to go to different time zones, because I've seen the leaked set photos.
I've seen a few.
Like Cap's in his original costume on what looks to be like the original Avengers set. Things like that. So maybe go into those different pivotal points within the 11 years that they've been together. So it could be, in Wakanda for Black Panther. It could be in what's it called in Age of Ultron? The town.
Oh, Krakowiak.
Sokovia.
No,
Sokovia.
I knew it was.
I don't know where you got that from.
I don't know, mate.
Which will be quite a good nostalgia trip as well. Going back through all the years.
But I also think with the time windows and whatever they're going to go to, I think that either someone's going to get trapped in that time window, and like we said before, another person could die instead of someone else, or that person who dies later on, or in a different circumstance.
That would be a good placeholder for the some of the series, actually, especially the Falcon and Becky one.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Netflix series that have been cancelled, on Netflix they've been cancelled, but I think it was with the final sort of announcement of Punisher ending, it was the showrunner or one of the directors or something, he said, this is the end of the Punisher on Netflix. And I feel like those are very specific words to include.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Like you could have just said it's the end of the Punisher.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And it would have sucked, but you would have, but he said on Netflix. I feel like Disney might have some plans with those characters. But I mean, they'd have to rename, or they'd have to maybe pair them up or do different sort of shows. But even Endgame, if they do sort of time travel and stuff, it could change stuff in those universes. It could.
I think what you said about everything. Falcon and Winter Soldier or Bucky Barnes, that, like you said, being trapped in that specific time period, or I don't know.
So
that's the
you've said this to me before. Where the theory is that obviously at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp in the post-credits scene, I believe he's trapped in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
How he gets out, we don't know. Does he find a pocket to go back in time or forward in time? How does he get out? Which I think is going to be
a big
the play point in the time travel
and
aspect.
In that first trailer, we see Scott like appearing at the gate, and everyone was going, "Oh my god,
how long is this from? When's this video from? That type of thing." Yeah.
Have you got any points to add to what you think will happen? Something different to what's been said so far?
Nothing really leaps to mind. Like, I feel like we've gone over quite sort of the major points that come to mind.
We all agree that time travel is going to...
I think it's going to be at the forefront.
If it doesn't happen now, we're going to look so
stupid.
But obviously, we've got this... We're going to say they go back in time to do this. Obviously, my theory is to go back in time to reverse the effects, maybe, of the stones appearance. So Thanos will be sitting on his farm, I don't know, harvesting corn or whatnot, and then slowly the stones will disappear from the gauntlet, possibly, because the time's been erased before, and they've actually, the stone's not in the same place for Thanos now,
and he'll start,
or they'll destroy it or something like that, so we can't get it. And then how they're going to defeat Thanos is a different thing entirely. Are they going to, if they destroy the stones, they can't use him? Are they going to save the stones to defeat him? How do you think they're actually going to defeat him, if they even do defeat him?
I feel like that they're going to have to. It all hinges on the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Because that last scene in Infinity War, when he appears and he gets rushed by all the heroes, and he just brushes them aside one by one, he only uses the stones. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even fight them physically. I think if they took the Infinity Stones out and they rushed him again, it would be an entirely different story. There might be an injury, there might be someone that doesn't make it, but just the volume of the heroes going at him, if he didn't have the stones,
especially when Thor was there.
Exactly, when Thor comes in.
In his armour. But in terms of how they're going to do it, I really don't have a clue.
No.
It could be, there's a million to one possibilities, and
true.
Honestly, I don't have a clue. I can't.
Go in any
a lot
direction.
of things in there. There's like Pepper Potts has been seen suited up. Some sort of things she might fight alongside. Who knows what's going to happen? And then the white suits are an interesting thing as well. I don't know what the purpose of those are.
It's like Real Madrid.
They look pretty sick, don't they?
Sick.
But,
they do look cool.
Ant-Man seems like he's going to play a big part.
I think he's going to be a massive part, but in a comedic way.
Yeah.
Because it is a very serious movie. Obviously, you're dealing with a lot of death and a lot of sort of depressing subject matter, really, like the possibility of a lot of heroes dying, and I think he'll be a good way of sort of keeping it.
And now we've got Captain Marvel as well, which Kevin Feige said is the most powerful hero that we've ever seen on screen from MCU. You two both haven't seen Captain Marvel yet.
No,
but in terms of the film itself, it doesn't really hint at what she could do to help them. I mean, she's got powers, of course, and they seem like pretty sick powers, but nothing really hinted towards Endgame at all, so there's no spoilers in there. So it's going to be interesting to see all these heroes come together, but I think it's going to be more, not about powers, but more about the human side of it, because now we've got Captain Marvel, Thor, Hulk, all these powerful people, so if they get the stones, like you said, great, they're going to defeat Thanos without a doubt because they've got all these people, but you've got to have some, they can't seem invincible, which is why people are going to die.
Yeah.
It's going to be losses, sacrifices.
The thing for me as well with Thanos, he's the Mad Titan. That's his title. So would he... Obviously, we said he wouldn't go without a fight without the Infinity Stones. He's pretty weak. We've all said that. But I think he'd be willing to die, but he'd take someone, like takes a big character with him, so that he knows he's going to die. Like if say like the Infinity Stones get taken from him, but then he's like, right, if I'm going to die, I'm going to take a huge part of your family with me, sort of thing. So
I do hope we see the Hulk again in this one.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah,
because I think the. Mark Ruffalo said when they approached him to do the Hulk, they said straight up, we're not going to do any films, we're not going to do standalone films, standalone TV. No, your character arc is going to be within these grouped films of the Avengers. And they included things like Thor Ragnarok when it came to it. And he said that's perfect. So his character arc, if you watch all the films again, you'll see his character as the Hulk developing. So now he's at this pivotal point where after Ragnarok, he's like, am I Hulk? Am I Bruce? You know, they're clashing between the two personalities. So it's going to be interesting in this one to see which side becomes more. Is it going to be Bruce at the head of like the scientific stuff, or is he going to be the Hulk going in and bashing stuff? I don't think we'll see the Hulk until the final battle.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
I think they're going to reserve him
because
he wants some payback for when Thanos beat him up. So I think Hulk's just going to go all out on Thanos when Thanos is like nearly defeated. I think Hulk's just going to come smashing through. Or Banner's just going to be like, it's my time to shine.
Side note, sorry, nothing important. Cap sword.
In what? The trailer?
Yeah, you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not see that?
Yes, I did. It's Let's Get This Son of a...
Yeah, you saw.
Yeah.
After all those films of language.
Yeah.
We saw.
I think we'll leave it there. Obviously, after we've all seen I'm Going to the Midnight.
Yeah, maybe give it
a week or so, just to give everybody a chance to see it, because obviously we will include spoiler talk.
Yeah, we will give spoiler.
Are we going to do an informal podcast with that?
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe a bit more informal.
Yeah,
but we'll see sort of closer to the time.
We'll do something on it about the events anyway. But what we'd like you to do is to let us know your theories, because obviously our theory is just one. We all share the same theory, I think, but other people out there have got different theories, such as Ant-Man going up the hole of Thanos and expanding.
Yeah,
which, have you not heard it?
No.
Ant-Man going up the hole of Thanos and expanding to defeat him.
Yeah. I mean, it works. You can't.
It would work.
Can't argue it.
I think we've got to end it.
It's world
the bumhole of Thanos.
Endgame. Alright, so let us know what you think, and we will see you next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And again, thanks, Neil.
Yes, thank you.
Season 2.